This is College Talk with Dean Aldemaro Romero Jr., a weekly program exploring the lives and work of the people of the Weissman School of Arts and Sciences at Baruch College.
Hello everybody. Today is a very special edition of College Talk. Instead of having a guest talking to me and having this interview between the two of us, today we decided to do something different. We decided to talk to a number of students, our students, who went into a special trip that really changed their life. And the reason why we did that is because you can see how a particular field experience can change the way we see things and think about things. This is a group of students who went to Poland, specifically to visit the concentration camps there. And you can see that although this was one of the darkest pages in our contemporary history, it also was a great teaching lesson for these students, for memories and ideas they will never forget about.
We wanted to create a special class that had Jewish studies and history at its core that included a travel component. It's something, I call it micro-study abroad. It's one of the new trends in experiential learning that's kind of moving across the country, and we wanted to do something that was cutting edge and innovative here at Baruch. Well, I mean, one of the reasons why we wanted to choose Poland is because it's a country that has this really rich, long history of relations between Jews and non-Jews. So this class, even though it's called the Holocaust and Historical Memory, it focuses a lot on the Holocaust, so 20th century Polish Jewish history. It also reaches further back than that. We look at Jewish history in Poland during its richest and most enlightened times, and then come through World War II, basically the destruction of Polish and European Jewry, ending up with today, with the state of Polish Jewry and a little bit European Jewry during the 21st century.
I feel that it was important for me because it's one thing as a history major to actually read all the history, but it's another to actually experience history come to life in front of your own eyes. And I think I needed to take a trip in order for me to connect what I was reading and learning here to what I actually witnessed in Poland.
Well, I took this class previously with Professor Leung during the previous winter session, and in that portion we just basically did Holocaust and film. And later on during the year she informed me that this class was going to be held again, but there was going to be a study abroad portion. And I really enjoyed the class and experiences and everything, and I figured that it would be amazing to go there and actually see the setting in which all these stories took place.
Well, first off, I'm a history major, so the course interested me, but I thought going to Poland actually would give me an experience that I couldn't get anywhere else. So I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood, and so I learned a lot about the Holocaust, like through other people's families, and of course the school system there. So I thought going there myself would be like a nice way to come full circle on that. I would say also another reason why I went to Poland is because it's a place that I wouldn't have went on my own. I didn't know anything about Poland, so I thought it would be a good experience.
Visiting the concentration camps, it kind of made the whole thing kind of real. You know, you read about it and you watch movies, but once you actually are inside the premise, it kind of gives it authenticity.
I think that ambiguity has to be one of the most important lessons, that it's really important to be able to identify questions like what is evil, what is morally imperative in certain situations, but even more important to understand how much ambiguity is surrounding even events like the Holocaust, like World War II, where there's so much mass destruction that we can kind of dismiss with one hand. To have students be able to recognize all of the complexities of these issues was both challenging and something that they really latched onto in a way that was impressive. It was inspiring.
There's like the number thing, right? Like 6 million, but like the human brain can't comprehend even like, what's the difference between 1 million and 6 million? Like in the human brain, you can't comprehend it. So when I was in Auschwitz, walking around, one of the rooms had this case full of shoes, right? So it was like as startling as all the other ones because it showed you like how many people had died and whatnot. But then like I looked up closer and I started realizing like the shoes are like different styles. Like there was like a high heel, there was like a boot, there was like a work shoe, and I started thinking like all these people had their own lives at one point. Like it finally hit me like these were individuals who were taken in, out of their mid-class life or whatever type of life they were living, and they were thrusted into this camp. So that was like when I realized like I could see past just the huge number and see like this could happen like to actual people.
All of it made an impression on me, but definitely the thing that really stood out was the hall in Auschwitz. There's a hall with pictures of each prisoner, and I've read a lot about the Holocaust previously, and when you see a picture of someone, it's you kind of see beyond just the picture. You see like what they were feeling. They were scared. They had no emotion. Like they were trying to hide. I feel like they were trying to hide everything that they were feeling, and I feel like that really made me feel what was going on. And definitely Treblinka, because there we were really able to see the weather. Like I'm glad we went in the winter, because we really got to see a little piece of what they had to deal with. They had to deal with this snow because we had to walk. We walked a lot in Treblinka, and
we were the only ones there.
And it made it even more because you can't see anyone, you don't see anything, and it was so cold. I can't imagine. At least like I had thermals on, I had boots, I had everything on. They had nothing. They had little pairs of shoes, a thin pajama, and that's it. And that really made an impression on me, thinking about what they had to endure in Treblinka, especially how big it is, and the hallway, definitely the hallway.
Yeah, I think there's a stark contrast between, I guess, the shock value of Auschwitz, for lack of a better word, that you saw the gas chambers and you saw everything, so you were able to kind of physicalize it. And Treblinka really pushed me, at least, to kind of really imagine what these people had to walk through, like literally walk through or run through when they were in those camps. And I think one of our other members also brought it up. Another moment was when we were leaving Auschwitz, and how easy it was to just walk out of the camp and walk that same path that prisoners tried to run through and couldn't get through. So it was the ease of walking through it as a museum rather than really seeing it as like this was something that imprisoned people. So I think that was also something that was...
When you hear about that there are still people who are Holocaust deniers, what kind of thoughts do you have about something like that, especially after going through this experience? Why do you think motivate people like to behave like that?
I think it's the same hatred that started the whole Holocaust. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're thinking irrationally. They know the facts and figures, but they choose to deny it because they have a deep hatred towards a group of people, and they can't accept the terms of what happened. And I think, it's the same thing that caused the Nazis to, falsify a lot of documents and a lot of statistics at that point. It's nothing different than what they did, It's the same thought process.
Yeah, it was a very methodical and very formulaic idea that they had, but it became formulaic and very mathematical because they were not able to handle the sheer amount of people that they were trying to round up. So like I had to read a document, and it was talking about how they originally just wanted to deport them out to Madagascar because they knew that they were going to take over the French territory, and they knew that they were going to have control of Madagascar for years and years and turn it into like this Jew asylum. But as the war went on, they realized that we can't handle the sheer amount. I mean, they kept building things up in the camps because they weren't able to handle 6 million people there. So I think that it's bizarre how people deny something like that, but going on that trip and walking through it and trying to imagine 6 million people, I can also see how hard it is to imagine that, even though I know that it has happened. It's clear that it's happened. There's no way that you can go against the years and decades of evidence that have appeared and the decades that will probably appear, afterwards.
When we went on the trip, it was prior to Trump's inauguration, and we weren't really exactly sure what he'll be planning once he came into office, but once he came into office, I found it very scary that some of the new legislation with his executive orders really parallel what the Germans did in Nazi Germany and also in Poland.
I think the most important message is that people are the same, and you don't need to be a part of a certain group to share in their suffering, and that you have to take action and accountability when, when people are suffering. You don't need to be a part of that group. You just have to take action.
Not only did we just experience all these things, it's just the people who we experienced it with, because you can never, the level of intimacy that we shared between us, you can never, it's hard in this city, in this school, to really have a group of people who share such a very raw and life-changing experience with you. And most classes, when they finish, you'll never see that person. You might see that person in the hallway and say hi, but as a result of this trip, the majority, well, actually all of us still communicate to each other to this day. We didn't let our experience and our friendship stop in the trip. We continue to hang out and continue to talk, and I think that's one of the best things that can ever happen, to have a group of friends that I can always remember and reflect back with.
Yeah, I think it's a great experience because first off, you're gonna learn. You could take a course and there could be students who don't pay attention, there could be students who do pay attention, but ultimately a lot of the students will forget a lot of the things that they did learn. Here, even if you're the worst student in the world, you're gonna learn about the Holocaust. You're gonna know a lot more than, and the normal person will by a lot. You'll also learn a lot about how to think about worldly problems, seeing that conflicts aren't as simple as, bad guys, good guys. You'll also see that problems like the Nazis and the Holocaust could happen anywhere, and genocides still do happen. And also, it's a good experience to see another country and make a lot of good friends.
Yes, I would definitely recommend the experience. In a short period of time, I've learned so much, not only about Poland, its history, but also about myself in a way. I never imagined myself in Poland, or actually I never imagined myself in Europe at all. And I think spending 3 months is really nice, but spending such a short period of time really exposes you to everything. And when you just take it all in, you realize that you got the best of both worlds.
Well, I'm sure that after listening and watching these students talking about the sentiments, their impressions, their experiences, and the thing they had to say about this particular field experience, you will agree with me that college is a place where we can change people's life. And next week, we'll be talking about another interesting experience by one of our faculty. So stay tuned.
This has been College Talk with Dean Aldemaro Romero Jr., a production of the Weissman School of Arts and Sciences at Baruch College. All rights reserved, 2017.